The Fulton County, Georgia District Attorney, Paul Howard Jr., charged former Atlanta police officer Garrett Rolfe with murder in addition to 10 other criminal charges. If convicted, Rolfe faces execution. The alleged crime at the heart of it is the shooting of a suspect called Rayshard Brooks.
Hey, sir. You right? Dude, you're sitting in the drive-thru line here. Blah, 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 blah. Stop. Very good.
I just had a few drinks, that's it.
How many?
1.5. Like I said, I was into the second cup. I told her, babe, let's go, because I'm hungry.
What kind of drinks did you have?
I'm not sure. It's something she ordered. She said top shelf or whatever.
Right.
Just take me home. I'm ready to go.
So you had about 1.5 drinks, but you don't remember what kind of drinks they were?
No, sir.
All right.
I really don't, Mr. Ross.
All right. I think you've had too much to drink to be driving. Put your hands behind your back for me. Here, put your hands behind your back. Hey, stop fighting! Stop fighting! Stop fighting! Stop fighting! You're gonna get tased! You're gonna get tased!
Stop! Mr. Ross!
Stop!
Come on, man.
Stop! You're gonna get tased!
Mr. Ross!
Hey, hands off the taser! Hands off the taser! Stop fighting! Hands off the taser! Stop fighting! Taser! 63.
After the shooting, Officer Rolfe tried to keep Rayshard Brooks alive. He performed CPR on the man he just shot.
Mr. Brooks, keep breathing. Mr. Brooks, keep breathing for me.
No matter how much you look at these videos or how closely, it's a tragedy every time. A father of 3 girls is dead. The question is, was it murder? Ask yourself, how do you think you would do, regardless of what color you are, if you snatched a cop's taser and tried to shoot him with it? Most likely you'd be dead. No one would march in your memory. No one would burn a building in your name. No one would consider your death controversial, much less a racial act. That's what happens when you attack police officers with their own weapons. Everyone knows that. But in this case, things are very different. Officer Rolfe is facing the death penalty. He's been charged by a DA who's under enormous political pressure to prosecute. The mob wants vengeance now. They've expressed that by burning the Wendy's where Rayshard Brooks died to the ground. They've committed violence. Will they commit more if he's not charged? That has to be weighing on Paul Howard. And not just that. Paul Howard is fighting for his job. Howard is facing a runoff election soon. Howard is also being investigated for sexual harassment and for stealing money from a nonprofit. So Paul Howard has every reason to change the subject and to bow immediately to the mob's demands, and that's what he's doing.
Mr. Brooks, on the night of this incident, was calm, he was cordial, and really displayed a cooperative nature.
Calm and cooperative are probably the first words that came to mind, especially the part where Brooks grabbed the cop's taser and fired it at him. Just 2 weeks ago, this very same prosecutor, the one you just saw, Paul Howard, noted at a press conference, and we're quoting, "A taser is considered a deadly weapon under Georgia law."
The demeanor of the officers immediately after the shooting did not reflect any fear or danger of Mr. Brooks, but their actions really reflected other kinds of emotions.
We know what's coming next, guaranteed. They're going to tell us this was a racially motivated killing. And maybe they can prove that it was. We're always open-minded. But at this point, we very much doubt it. There is zero evidence of that so far. In the absence of evidence, Paul Howard should not say things like this at press conferences. It makes people hate each other. It tears the country apart, which is the last thing we need right now. Cops in Atlanta know exactly what's going on and what's likely to happen next. There are reports tonight that many of them have walked off the job at the beginning of their shift. No doubt many will retire from the force and leave. The police chief has already quit. Who'd want to enforce the law in a political environment like this? You make less than a plumber, everybody hates you, you could very easily get killed. You try to defend yourself, and they charge you with murder. No way. No one should be forced to submit to theft. And taxation without protection is theft. It's the definition of it. The rest of us have a right to say that, in fact, an obligation to say it. And don't let them distract you or confuse you with slogans or rioting. This is not about the shooting death of one man outside Wendy's. It's about something much larger and much more important to every American, no matter where you live. It's about whether we're going to have a justice system that treats all American citizens equally, regardless of what the mob demands. It's about whether we can live peacefully in our own homes with our families without fear, confident that we are protected by the government that we pay for. If the government will not protect us, we should stop paying for it, and that might finally get their attention.